Hello people, right, in the interest of making a video just for the sake of it, I like to try and make a video every day of the week, at least one, and it's Sunday, and this USCAD caught my eye, really based on the daily chart, the fact that we have engulfed down with a big confirmation to the downside. We've also that previous day, Friday, we actually broke through a number of levels here. We've broken and closed through this candle's high, which is a resistance, failed to act as support. We've broken, and we did actually confirm down below that low as well by 1 pip, I think. You know, this was very bearish as well. This previous day's candle broke through that resistance, so this does look to me like it's got further to go to the downside. This is a retake, as it were, because I messed up the previous video, so apologies for the lines on the charts already, but I've drawn this flip zone on here as well as a potential target area. So quick look at the weekly shows us again massively bearish bar there. There is no support, no resistance that could potentially act as support in our way on the weekly. Monthly, I double checked these as well, and this is lower than that one, which is obviously bearish. The RSI is dropping, in other words, so we'll just double check that RSI while we're here. The 2601 is the value of that one, and 2490 is the value of that one, give or take a few decimal places. So weekly, daily, monthly, weekly, daily are all bearish, and then we get to the H4. Oh, and you know, the histo is always agreeing with us as well. Then to the H4, I like the look of this because we've got a long line of green candles here. Don't mention that enough in my analysis, but it is important. The reason this pink line here drawn on the previous video was purely to show an old accumulation area here, an accumulation area here, in other words a red candle. Remember, that's an H4, so that's 4 hours worth of up and down going on. We've used it as support here again, and buyers have come in, and then they've just failed. It's just collapsed. Okay, nothing really to talk about in regards to this, apart from the fact that I like to see, when we're going down, I like to see this as opposed to this sort of stuff. We know we're going to have a problem, as we did here when we've got this going on and we come back to test it. As it is, it failed and collapsed, and notice also when you break a big level, comes back to test it. Fair value, how do we know it's worth that money unless they come back and test it? Bear with me a moment, my dog is messing about. So back, yeah, so nice big long run of green gives us potential of a long run down, but we'll talk about that over here as well. So just check the H1, and obviously when you know, the disclaimer, don't trade what I talk about, just trade your own analysis. But H1 now, we can clearly see we've got a reversal to the downside again, so that's good. We have now got a little bit of resistance below us by the looks of it that has not been breached. Let's double check that. High, the level is 252, 39252. The open of this is 257, so it did actually hold by the looks of it. Close 258. Yeah, so this resistance is held at the moment, but we have reversed, and that's the most important point. But it would have been nice if that had been broken as well to the downside. So there is a possibility that this will continue on up for a bit, but we shall see. M30, once again, of course, we've confirmed to the downside. but now you can clearly see that resistance area there has held. But once again, we've got a lovely green run, which is what I like to see. And how many pips have we got to go to this low here? 16 pips. And then of course this is only a minor support because it's part of a downtrend. It's not created a higher high. That's important to mention as well. But that's, you know, that whole thing is quite clear when you look at the, you know, this is all major support, as it were. It's a part of an up run. This is all minor support because it's not forced the price into an uptrend. Hope that makes sense. So probably hear my dog snoring. She's right next to me now. She's making a good recovery, but she's still got a lot of wounds that need to heal properly from major operations, haven't you? Okay. So yeah, this is looking good to the downside. Now I want to see really the RSI to drop below the 20 level, break this bust down with a close below that level there, and I haven't gone down as far as the 15-minute. What we can also see is that this support level now, and this is important, this is major support because it's part, you know, of this uptrend. Or yeah, major support is right. Even though it's part of a massive downtrend, we've now got support to break, and we've broken it. We're using this support as resistance now, and that's important. That's what trend trading and trend analysis is, and you can see it clearer on this 5-minute chart. High, low, lower high, lower low. Old supply, or demand should I say, becomes new supply. Old support becomes new resistance. We could draw an ascending trend line on this lot here as well, that's being broken, should I say. Much the same as connecting these lows that make higher highs. Broken here, so that's a valid level. Once that starts to break, you can see what happens. So that's my thought process on ascending trend lines. We could have actually added one there as well, because that high, this high, has broken that there. I just like to use these as stepping stones. You can see how price uses them as well. What else on this 5-minute? Well, the 15-minute is obviously confed up. In fact, it's not obviously confed up. It hasn't obviously confed up at all. That's the 15-minute there. High, low, lower high, lower low. So it didn't break up. So a 5-minute confirmation to the downside should be a trigger to potentially short. It hasn't confirmed to the downside yet. At no point did it confirm down here. And sorry, my dog was disturbing me then. So we wait for a close below this, or it continues up and then we wait for the new reversal to the downside. We've broken and busted and broken and closed, but I would like to prefer to see that below the 20. So this is just a work in progress at the moment, and I just thought I'd bring that to your attention, and a little sort of refresher course in how I analyse my charts. So that's connected to that with the high broken, that becomes a valid connection level, and it connects that to that as well. So just ways I look at my charts. You know, on these down moves, you can connect all those right down to that level there. That one, that hasn't broken that low, so it's not a valid resistance level. and you can see it clearly gave way quite easily there. Then they used it as support there, and price went up. So interesting to watch what this does on Monday in the Asian session. I'll be fast asleep, but you know, this is a potential target for the Asian session. And then we've got that flip zone way down here. We've got the 139 level to break. So there's a bit of there's quite a lot of stuff to the downside. Of course, nothing is over till the fat lady sings, so keep one eye on what's going on here. You know, this could easily reverse to the long side, but based on the higher time frames, which always take precedence, it does look like it is potentially on the way down. Just double check descending trend lines. That low has been broken by that low there by the looks of it, so that makes that a valid descending trend line, or valid attachment point as it were. Not much in it on the line charts, always check those as well. And we'll just double check that low. Yeah, it did get broken. Okay, that's it guys, thanks for watching, have a great Sunday evening.